When Taehyung and Jungkook are together, everything feels different. There's no acting or scripting. It's just the two of them sharing moments that speak for themselves. Every time Jungkook is around Taehyung, you can see how he unleashes all the love he has for him. It's not something that can be faked, because it shows in the details, the kind of hug they give each other, the glances they exchange, the way they smile just by being around each other. What happens between them is special and cannot be compared. The way Jungkook looks at Taehyung isn't that of someone who simply admires him, it's that of someone who feels something deeper. And Taehyung responds with the same kind of energy. They care for each other, search each other with their eyes, and understand each other without saying a single word. When they hug, it's not just a greeting or a way of showing affection, it's as if they confirm what many Taehyung fans have noticed for a long time. That embrace, filled with love and sincerity, is a form of communication between them. Every time they do it, they make it clear that their relationship goes beyond the superficial. One thing is also very clear: they don't have to hide what they feel. Even if some people deny it or try to impose other ideas, like the Jungkookers, the reality is there. The moments they share, in public or in private, reflect the same thing: a strong, firm bond that doesn't break or change over time. From the looks they give each other to the massages they give each other, everything sends a clear message. They don't do it out of obligation, they do it because it comes naturally. And it shows. Jungkook and Taehyung have proven that they don't need to be in the same place to stay connected. In a recent incident, Jungkook knew exactly when Taehyung had gone to the bathroom without anyone telling him. That detail reflects something bigger: the way they know each other. It's not a simple fact or a coincidence. It's proof that they share a level of closeness that doesn't depend on words. Even though military service keeps them in different locations, that distance hasn't severed their bond. What happens between them can't be faked or hidden. They understand each other just by looking at each other. They identify with each other even when they're not close. Knowing what the other is doing without having to be right next to each other is only possible when there's a very strong relationship. And it's something Taehyung fans have noticed for a long time. This recent incident confirms what many have already seen, that what exists between them goes beyond the ordinary. It's not just because of the amount of time they spent together before military service. It's because of the way they've continued to reach out and support each other despite the separation. The distance hasn't diminished their feelings. On the contrary, it's strengthened that bond. They've learned to communicate without relying on physical presence. It's something you can see in the details: how they know what each other is thinking, how they send clear signals without having to speak in front of the cameras. The moment Jungkook asked J-Hope to move so he could sit next to Taehyung wasn't just an ordinary gesture. Jungkook didn't just act on impulse, he did it because being next to Taehyung holds special meaning for him. It's not something he repeats with other people. It's a choice he makes whenever he has the opportunity. And this time, even though he knew someone else was sitting next to Taehyung, that wasn't an obstacle. He asked J-Hope to move. And J-Hope accepted without showing any discomfort. Once Jungkook sat next to Taehyung, he put his hand on his shoulder to hug him. That action was direct and without hesitation. He wasn't seeking attention or putting on an act. He simply acted from what he felt. And that reinforces an important idea, that this isn't a planned gesture or something they do for the fans. These kinds of actions are born from a real connection. Being together isn't just a pleasure, it's a necessity. And every time they're apart, they look for ways to be together again. These moments aren't new. Over time, every chance they get, they've shown their constant closeness. It doesn't matter if other people are around or if cameras are recording them. They do it anyway. Because what unites them doesn't depend on the place or the situation. There's something stronger that makes them seek each other out. And what makes this moment with J-Hope special is that it shows how Jungkook takes firm steps to be with Taehyung regardless of comments or looks. He doesn't act under external pressure. He acts by his own choice. The relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung is reflected in simple yet profound things. From a glance to a hand on a shoulder, everything carries a special weight when it comes to the two of them. On many occasions, Jungkook has approached Taehyung for no specific reason, just to be with him, to touch him, hug him, or simply accompany him in silence. And those gestures speak louder than any words. This isn't a habit shared with everyone. It's a language only they understand. In the moments before going on stage, when the whole group is getting ready, there's something that frequently recurs between them, the need to be close. Jungkook often leans close, places his hand on Taehyung's back, speaks to him in a low voice, and he responds calmly, as if only by being together they can find peace. This routine of taking care of themselves before facing the audience is unique. There are also those moments when there's no show, when there are no cameras, and yet they continue to behave the same way. There are videos where they are seen holding hands, giving each other massages, or simply spending time together without needing to speak. That constant connection is part of what makes Taehyung so strong. It doesn't change with the environment, it doesn't adapt to the audience, it stays the same because it's true. This shows that there's something between them that can't be broken, no matter how many people are watching or what's being said outside. What's also notable is that they don't try to hide. They don't act differently in front of others. This shows that their relationship is based on security and respect. Their emotional support is visible. Jungkook provides stability for Taehyung, and Taehyung responds naturally, as if they complement each other effortlessly. The massages, the subtle caresses, the way they touch each other without a second thought, these are all signs of trust. Over time, Jungkook and Taehyung have given clear signs that their relationship doesn't need explaining. It's not about repeated behaviors with other people. It's a series of specific actions that only happen between them. From how they take care of each other at concerts to the gestures they make when they're not together, everything indicates that they're connected by something real. In every public appearance, there's always a reaction when one of them is present. And when they're not, there are signs too. The most recent is this moment when Jungkook knows exactly what Taehyung is doing without asking. You can't learn that. It's a sign that their connection remains strong. And this is in addition to other moments where it's clear they're very aware of each other. They don't need to declare anything. Their way of acting is enough. The love between them hasn't disappeared. During military service, many relationships cool due to lack of contact. But in Taehyung's case, the opposite has happened. The physical separation has made their connection stronger. They continue to search for each other, they continue to care for each other, and it's reflected in every detail. And although some want to deny this, like the Jungkookers who try to put forward other theories, the reality is clear. The facts don't lie. The way they understand each other is unusual. It shows when they see each other face to face, but also when they're far apart. There's evidence that they continue to communicate, that they haven't stopped thinking about each other. You can't fake that kind of connection. It's natural, constant, and solid. And the Taekookers know it. Also, there's something important, they don't try to pretend. There's no effort to hide it. They just are. They act from what they feel. That's why, every time something like this moment in the bathroom happens, where Jungkook shows how much he knows Taehyung, it adds to a list of evidence that reinforces the same idea, that they're together, that they understand each other, and that they love each other. It doesn't matter that they don't say it with words. The gestures between Taehyung and Jungkook aren't just random moments. When analyzed individually, they seem normal. But when they're all put together, a chain forms that reveals something bigger. What unites them aren't empty acts, but habits that are repeated and maintained over time. This doesn't happen in any relationship. It's only seen when there's something strong and real. There's an emotional routine that always appears between them. It's not planned, but it is constant. Jungkook always seeks to get closer to Taehyung. He does it when there are a lot of people, when they're in interviews, or when they're at concerts. And Taehyung responds with the same naturalness. They understand each other without speaking. They look for each other with their eyes. They arrange themselves to be close to each other. That routine is always maintained, no matter the moment. This goes beyond spontaneity. It's not just that they like being together. It's that they need to be together. Their bodies respond before their minds. When there's an opportunity, they seize it. Like in this case, when Jungkook decided to change the entire order to be by Taehyung's side. That kind of behavior isn't repeated with other people. And if it's seen at different times over time, it's no coincidence. It's a sign that they've built a relationship on a solid foundation. Taehyung fans understand this pattern. They've observed it many times. That's why they know it's not fabrications or exaggerations. What they see is clear. Jungkook and Taehyung act as if they're strengthening that bond every day. Even if they don't talk about it publicly, they show it in their actions. And that carries more weight than any words. When they're at big events or filming sessions, their attention always returns to the other. If one moves away, the other seeks them out. If one sits down, the other sits nearby. This has happened many times and keeps happening. This repetition isn't boring, on the contrary, it confirms that their bond is real. There's an emotional stability that's only seen between the two of them. It doesn't break over time or get affected by outside opinions.